Hey guys, a little bit of technical difficulties, but I'm sitting here waiting for my husband. We are going into the tile shop to pick some stuff for our house. So for those of you that don't know, we closed on a house in October, the week before our daughter was born, and then it flooded the week before Christmas, and our fairy tale life prior to moving back to Pennsylvania is not so fairy tale. Oh my gosh, that sounds crazy. But hey Sarah, hey guys, hi. Oh my gosh, I've missed you guys too. Like, can honestly say I've had, oh my gosh, don't cry. I've had like the roughest, probably 48 hours. I don't know why, but that's part of me hopping on here, is to let you know that like running a business is not always easy. Being a mom is not always easy. Just being a woman is not always easy, right? So just had a difficult 24 hours, 48 hours. Just emotionally I feel kind of drained. Physically I feel kind of drained. But part of the reason I want to hop on here, because I really want to talk with you about, I know guys, sorry, I'm not trying to cry, but I want to talk with you about goals, and I wanted to talk with you about the reality of goal setting, and what if you aren't successful at this business, right? So I attended, I was in Dallas for 2 weeks, not quite 2 weeks, almost, and the first event that I went to was awesome, and it was all about entrepreneurs, and it wasn't really specific to SeneGence, but there were two SeneGence distributors, myself and Casey, my sponsor, who's amazing, and then there were a couple other direct sales businesses, and then a couple other people, just life in general, right? And so, oh my gosh, that glare is like crazy. I have y'all sitting on my, there we go, that's better. So, anyways, the one speaker talked about goals and setting goals, and there was something that he said that I think completely changed the game for me, completely changed the game of how to set goals. So we all know about SMART goals, or hopefully you do, and if you don't, SMART goals, they are you're supposed to set them being specific, being measurable, being attainable, being relatable, and then time sensitive, right? So you should be setting goals that specifically, have all of those characteristics, which are awesome. But there was something that he added to goal setting that totally, it's like a game changer for me, right? So how many of you, you set goals for your business, and you guys, you should be setting goals annually, you should be setting goals quarterly, monthly, weekly, and even daily. And I feel like for myself, daily has been probably my biggest downfall lately, because I feel like all over the place, especially with traveling. But I want you to really think about something. So we set goals because we want to achieve something, right? So we want to get from point A to point B. And whether for some of us, we have huge, what I call God-sized dreams with this business, and some of us have smaller goals, right? Maybe it's just to make enough money to pay back our $55 sign-on fee, right? That's like 2 collections. But no matter what your goals are, I really want to challenge you to start adding something to your goal setting. And that is answering the question, what is the consequence if I don't achieve this? I think oftentimes people see people who are uberly successful, and I am obviously one of those people, and I'm so grateful for the success that I've seen in this business. What you don't see are the 3 years that I spent building a business that I've had, I had success in that business, but it wasn't the massive success that I've had in this business. But at the end of the day, even with the last business, I never made a $30,000 or $40,000 check in a month. I never had that kind of crazy success like I have in this business, but I always, in the back of my mind, had a why that drove me, right? I always had a why that was so important to me that I wouldn't give up. And so even though I didn't necessarily see massive success, I never gave up, because, and I didn't really realize what this was, but I, in my mind, tied a consequence to me not moving forward, right? By me quitting, that meant that XYZ wasn't going to happen. And so even with this business today, like the last 48 hours have just been, you know, everything to me has just seemed off, right? I got back from 11 days. I was all caught up on messages. I actually worked while I was away. I was all caught up until really Thursday through Sunday. It was like, I was super busy between Senegence events and family and doing stuff for the business and our team, which was so fun. You guys have to get to an event. You must get to an event because our team was able to bond 2 nights in a row and it was awesome. I was able to hang out with Leslie Boyd Bradley and Chris Simonian and a bunch of other like top leaders in our business and corporate and just in our company, and it was amazing. You need to get to an event. You need to do it. But anyways, I got behind in 4 days. So I get home and I'm flustered and I'm frustrated and nothing's working. My internet's not working. I tried to do a call for my first line last night. Specifically, anyone on that call last night knows it didn't work. My internet was like not working. So I can choose to throw in the towel and say, forget this, right? But the reason I don't is because I know that if I do throw in the towel, there are consequences. And those consequences to me are worse than the uncomfortable, right? So obviously I have to help you guys and sponsor and mentor you guys. But big picture for me, the reason I'm doing this business obviously is to help you all achieve your God-sized dreams, but it's so that I can retire my husband. And honestly, the last 48 hours, I have wanted it so bad because it's hard when he leaves, because then it's me by myself and I have immense pressure to run a multi-million-dollar business on my own and have 2 kids and have another business on the side and all these other things, right? But at the end of the day, no matter how hard it gets for me, the consequence of me giving in or throwing in the towel or not doing the things that I don't want to do, whether that's whatever, right? The consequences are too painful for me to know that my husband might not be able to quit his job, right? If I quit or if my income goes down, you know, downhill or whatever, right? So I really want you to think, when the going gets tough, when you have a bad day, when you have a bad week, when you have a bad month, you guys, the reality of it is life's going to happen. There are going to be days that, you know, I see people posting about, oh, there's nothing going on in my group, right? Or, you know, my vendor show didn't go well. My online party didn't go well. My launch didn't go well. Oh my gosh, I tried to wow my family and show them my stripes and like they laughed at me. You guys, all that stuff's normal. It's going to happen, right? So you have to know that bad things are going to happen. Right? But if you don't keep pushing forward and keep moving forward, what is the consequence tied to it? What is going to happen, right? So for me, like, my husband won't be able to quit his corporate job and be home because we wouldn't be making enough money to supplement both of our incomes. So what is it? What is the consequence tied to you not sucking it up, putting on your big girl panties, and figuring out a solution to the problems, or getting over the bad day that you had, or the sickness, or whatever is happening in your life that is being a roadblock in your business? Doesn't have to be a dead end, right? You have to figure out another way. Network marketing has been around for years, and while Facebook has been tricky lately with groups and people aren't seeing your stuff, okay, I get that, but how else can we move forward, right? So I want you to start thinking, moving forward, as you set goals, what if you aren't successful at this business? What does that mean for you? Does it mean that you stay in debt? And that sucks, right? Does it mean that you have to stay at your job and you don't want to and you're still miserable? Does it mean that you can't stay at home with your child? Does it mean that you are going to still have student loans and just live, you know, working to live instead of living to work, right? Or whatever that, you know, that whole saying is. What does it mean to you what if you aren't successful at this? Then what happens with your life? When the going gets tough, you know, they always say, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. But that's so true, right? The truth of the matter is, if this doesn't work for you, then what? Then what? Are you stuck in your same crappy situation? I don't know. Some of you might just be doing this for fun and it doesn't really mean a lot to you, or it's not really going to change your life. But some of you see the opportunity here and know that this has endless possibilities. And so I want to ask you today, what if you don't make this work for you? What if you aren't successful at this? What is the consequence tied to it? And does that matter to you? Because if it matters to you, you will find a way around it, right? Roadblocks can be in the center, but you can go around them, you can go under them, you can go over them, you can go through them, right? They're there. We're all going to run into roadblocks in our business and in our life. That's just the reality. Because you all, if building a $1 million business, ask Brittany, ask Marcy, if building a $1 million business was easy, every single one of you would be crown princesses. Every single one of you would have 5-figure checks. You know, like every single one of you would be uberly successful, but the reality is it's not, and there are roadblocks. And so I want to encourage you to keep at the forefront of your mind as you're making your goals monthly, annually, quarterly, daily, weekly. You have to set your goals and what they are, and then I really want you to ask yourself, what if I don't achieve that goal? What if I don't achieve that goal? What is the consequence? What consequence is tied to that? What if I don't sell my 750 PV in a month? You know, some of you are struggling to sell 300 PV. You guys, 300 PV is like peanuts. Most people who are building thriving businesses are definitely ordering, and Leslie Boyd Bradley said this weekend, are ordering way more than 750 PV. I'm ordering thousands of dollars a month, right? So set your goals high, but also put a consequence tied to your goal, and I promise you it'll light a little fire under your butt. Because so often we just dream of these fun goals, and yeah, I'm going to sell this amount, and I'm going to recruit this many people, and I want to make, you know, $50,000 a month doing this, or not month. Well, that's true. That can happen. Absolutely can happen. We're proof. No, but if you're saying like you want to earn $50,000 extra a year to do this business, that's totally doable. But what if that stuff doesn't happen? Like we dream so easily, but we forget that that stuff takes work. So I want to challenge you today, tie consequences to your goals and then see how much more motivated you are to actually make those goals happen, because life's going to happen. Crap's going to happen, right? For me, the last 48 hours have stressed me out. I don't normally get super stressed. It happens like every few months. I get to the point where I like literally feel like I'm going to combust. And I told George this morning, I said, I feel like I am going to admit myself to like the crazy house, because I seriously can't take another second. I am dealing with too much, right? I have so much pressure on my shoulders. And once I finally let all of myself like cool off and think, okay, like life is okay, right? Leslie said something to us this weekend and said, if money can fix your problem, then it's not a problem. And how true is that, right? I have 2 healthy kids. I'm healthy. My husband is healthy, right? You know, what if money can fix your problems, you don't have problems. So, yeah, buddy. Is air too cold for you, baby? I didn't want to burn you out. Daddy's coming. He's meeting us any second. I'll turn the air down. But if money can fix your problems, we really don't have problems, right? So once I got over myself and got over my fit and felt like so stressed out and kind of decompressed and prayed about it, and was like, God, like, help me remember that, like, I really don't have problems. My problems are really good problems to have, right? What's the consequence if I give up? What is the consequence if I throw in the towel today, right? Like, what if I don't? What if this doesn't work for me? What if I don't make Senegens work for me? Then where are we? Well, we're not in a really good spot. So use your consequences to continue to motivate you, because you guys, life is hard. Building a business is hard. You have to keep going. And if something isn't working for you, you have to find something else that will work for you, because what works for me might not work for you, and what worked for me 3 months ago might not work for me right now. I'm experiencing that. What worked for me 7 months ago when I started this business and just did one video on Facebook and it was like, whoa, you know, crazy, that's not working for me anymore. Facebook's changed all the algorithms, so people aren't even seeing my post in my store anymore. And I know some of you are saying the same thing, right? Do you just throw away your whole group and say, forget it, it's not for me, or this business isn't worth it? No, you figure out how to make it work for you, because the consequence is tied to it. Because I know that if I don't continue to get more sales, if I don't continue to find more people who love our products, who want to sell our products and get out and go share them with other people, then my business is going to flop and it's going to fizzle out, right? So I have to figure out a way, because I still want my husband home, and you can't just have one successful month to make that happen, 2 successful months. You have to build a solid foundation to make something like that happen. And so I have to keep going. So I want to encourage you today, whatever your goals are for this business, that's great. I don't care if they're small to me or they're huge to me, right? You can have whatever goals are your goals, and this is your business. You get to set them for yourself. But I want to encourage you to tie a consequence to those goals if you don't achieve them. And I promise you, you will look at your business a little bit differently through the tough times, because we're all going to have tough times no matter what. All right? I love you guys. I think you're amazing. I think sometimes because our team has had so much massive success, like crazy success, like people are coming to me asking questions like, how is your team doing this? And how do you do this? And what do you do for this? Right? And we've only been doing this for 7 months, right? You know, sometimes it's almost like I take it for granted, like how successful we've been, that I forget that, oh my gosh, like we are doing amazing things. So I want you to take a minute and be proud of yourselves. I need to sometimes slow down and be proud of myself, because I'm always going for the next goal. I'm always achieving like the next thing. Like once I get it, right? I've shared on Facebook, like I haven't even rewarded myself like with a really good reward since I've started. Every month I say to myself, well, I'll get it next month when I get that next. And then I don't. There's Daddy, yay! So George is here. We're gonna go pick out tile and flooring for our house. But I love you guys. I want you all to be successful, but I also want you to know the reality of success is it takes hard work, and it takes drive and effort to keep going. So tie a consequence to your goals and see if that changes you actually wanting to push forward when the going gets tough, because I promise you it's gonna get tough. But if you keep pushing and you tie a consequence to it, you will push through the tough times. Like I said, here's your hurdle. You're going to figure out a way to go over it, under it, around it, or through it, or just, I don't know, drink it. So I love you guys. That's my word of encouragement for today. I am right in the trenches with you. I am in the trenches trying to figure out how to do better every single day. And I'm here to share those tips and those tricks with you as we are on this journey together. All right? I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.